What's up, cupcakes? It's your boy, Paperback Dan, and I'm about to join Taylor from Taylor Talks Comics and our buddy Connor, who's been recently dubbed Comic Connor. Little play on words there. I support it. Yeah, and we're going to talk about what's coming out this week. We are going to go through the previews and just kind of see if anything catches our eye. So let's just get right into it.
Okay, so let's check out the books that are coming out next week. I'm going to go over the single issues first, and then we'll do collected editions, if that's cool with everybody here.
Sure.
So I'm just going off Previews World. This is just previewsworld.com. And I think the important thing to note is that all these dates are subject to change with all the paper shortage and distribution issues and ports being closed and DC switching distributors, Marvel switching distributors. Everything's a mess. But one thing that's not a mess is that we love comics, and eventually these books will be out and we'll eventually read them regardless of the date. But as of today, these are the dates that Previews World tells us these are coming out, which is next Wednesday.
And I mean, I think that's pretty safe too. Like if it's supposed to come out next week, there's a very high likelihood that that's when it'll actually come out. It's not like it's 6 months from now and, who knows.
Right. And I'd hope so. If not next week, it's probably pushed back like a week. It's not nothing.
Exactly.
So what I'm going to do here...
Scotland. That's a week and 1 day late.
Oh, yeah. For our Scottish friend Connor down here. He has it a little bit rougher as far as the dates go. But so I think I'm just going to scroll through here. I'm going to read off the titles. You stop me if you want me to pull one up and get a closer look at it. And sometimes previews have these, if it says like previews, can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is this preview here. I can actually look at some interior pages too. So if there's anything, just one of you guys stop me and I'll focus in on one or two, and I might even stop some myself. But first things first, for Image, we have a thing called Truth #1. So this is the #1 issue, and it's one of 5. It's a new series. It looks like it's starting.
So is it just me, or do you guys also get like oddly attracted to like a mini series? Like I know nothing about this, but the fact that it's only a mini series already makes me want to like see what it's about.
Exactly. And I think so too. And I think our conversation we had the other day about our Wednesday Warriors, where we talked about DC, like Connor went on his spiel about how DC is doing this mini series and how nice it is. And we talked about how like when we know it's 1 of 5 or 1 of 6 or whatever, it's appealing. And I think that's what, so I agree with you. I think that's appealing too. So just pulling up real fast, this is a thing called Truth from Lolanda Zanfardino is the writer, and then Elisa Ramboli, sorry, I'm terrible with names, is the writer. So it looks like a chaotic LGBTQ road trip. I read this earlier today. It looks like it's going to be like a buddy cop type story with a workaholic scientist and a rebellious girl. So it's like a strange bedfellows buddy cop type comic. So let us know if in the comments if you guys pick up any of these that we talk about, or if we should pick them up, if you know something about these creators.
Yeah, definitely if we should pick them up.
I'm pretty sold by that one.
Yeah, it looked pretty interesting. So, and that's the cool thing too, is that when we do these Wednesday Warrior episodes, as far as what we pick up, maybe you'll see things that we just now discovered on this episode. We'll see them, pick them up next week and talk about them. We also have Firepower by Chris Samney and Robert Kirkman. This is issue number 17. So this series is getting good ways underway.
I don't know why I thought that it was a little bit further along, but I've been hearing good things. But I'm waiting. Like as much as I want to read it, because Kirkman might as well be my favorite writer. I'm just gonna wait. Probably for there to at least be a couple trades. I don't want to hold out for a compendium and there not ever be one. But
right. Kirkman, one thing he's good at is definitely releasing his comics in a number of different formats to appeal to everybody. So I would almost guarantee it would be. Look, this is how you know it's an issue 17 though. This is the description. Surrounded, alone, weakened. Owen Johnson is in for the fight of his life. That's it. That's all I give you.
Yeah, they don't tell you anything.
Yeah. So that's issue number 17. We have Frontiersman number 2. I did not pick up the first issue of this. Did either of you guys?
I actually did. I bought it on a whim.
That looks nuts.
like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And I don't really know what to expect from it. Honestly, it did a lot of nothing for me. I didn't hate it, but I don't know if I am the target audience. But I do think that it's going to try to go somewhere. So I will read issue 2 just to kind of see. Like, I'd hate to give up on a book after one issue, unless it was like truly like dreadful. So yeah, I'm going to get it. We'll see what happens. It's supposed to be a superhero book. And in like the letters pages towards the back, they're claiming that they're the best superhero book on the market. I think their thing is like, you know how those job sites will be like, oh, 3 days without an incident, blah, blah, blah. They're doing that, except it's like X amount of weeks or months as the best superhero comic on the shelf or something like that. So like, I think that's a cool touch, but I think it's a wildly bold claim given it's only been one issue and it wasn't even that good.
That's interesting. I look forward to your how you feel about issue number 2 then, because it's a series that I was like about, but then like it looked interesting. It looked like it could be up my alley, but I wasn't quite sure. So I'll be looking forward to your thoughts.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted on that because I'm curious as well.
Here's another series that's I didn't realize this was a 10 issue series announced, but this is Good Agent. It's on issue number 6 of 10. I have not read that one. We have Ink Blot number 13, Philadelphia number 18. Oh, it's got a Simon Bisley cover on cover B. I like the Biz. We have Magic Order 2, number 1 of 6. So I'm assuming this is the second series.
Is there no A cover for Philadelphia, or was that already released and this is just like a re-release of that issue?
Normally it would say like second printing or something if it was already released. But that is weird. I noticed that too. Maybe there is no cover A and they just maybe it's like I don't know if you guys will catch this reference, but the Traveling Wilburys. You guys listen to that band?
Never heard of them.
They had 2 albums. The album number, it was volume 1 and volume 3. So it's supposed to be like, where's volume 2? But they never had one.
Oh, what the hell?
It was a great band. They had Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, and George Harrison in it. It was like a super team, super band, whatever. All right, so then Magic Order number 2, number 1 has like a billion different covers here, so you can see them all here. Then we have
more Mark Miller stuff.
Yeah, Mark Miller of Scotland Scotland Pride.
Well,
no,
let's not get crazy. Say Connor doesn't appreciate that guy right now.
I'm no fan.
Wait, so what? Sorry, which book did he write though? Magic Order or?
Yeah,
he's the Magic Order writer.
Gotcha. I'm not familiar with that book. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't
it's
think
an upcoming Netflix show.
Well,
like,
of course.
Like seriously, or is that a joke?
No, it's a joke.
Oh, I was gonna say. See, I wasn't even surprised. He writes. Think of it being.
Yeah, I know. He writes for TV now.
You delivered that so well. I was really confounded if you're making a joke or not. Yeah, so maybe coming to Netflix. You never know. The Me You Love in the Dark. This is number 4 of 5. So this series is close to wrapping up. I think this is. Oh, Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. Yeah, I know. This is. I haven't read this, but it's the same team that did Middle West. The same 2 guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Scotty Young on writing and Jorge Corona on.
I read the first 2 issues of this.
How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it's as good as Middle West, but it's 100% worth a pickup.
Yeah, Middle West was a popular book in the Cupcake group. We had Owen. Cupcake Owen was clamoring for everyone to buy that book.
Yeah, no,
that makes it sound like a cult.
Talked me into it.
It's really good.
I haven't gotten it, and I really want to. I keep forgetting. Every time I make like a purchase on IST, I keep forgetting to try and add those books into my cart.
That deluxe edition is really good looking as well.
Yeah, and Jorge Corona's art's amazing too. All right, next we have Sweet Paprika from Mirka Andolfo. And this one's a weird one because Mirka Andolfo is the creator or the artist and the writer, but like in the title here, her name's in there. So
that is weird.
Yeah, but it's number 3 of 12, and this is a second printing, so the book must be.
There's a
doing well.
lot of books so far that seem to be like mini or maxi series, like they already have a finite number.
Right. This is one I wanted to look at. So this is Jacob Phillips. This is Sean Phillips' son, and then Chip
Oh, okay.
Zdarsky's the writer. So this is Jacob Phillips' first big work. I think he's been the artist on a smaller series prior to this, but this is his first like major work where he is the artist. Typically,
Oh,
he's
I
just
mean,
been.
he's on That Texas Blood apparently, which I know Hess and Owen have been reading.
That's right. That's right. And then, but typically he's been the colorist on a lot of the Sean Phillips
Mhm.
and Ed Brubaker
Brubaker.
books. Thank you. But this
I
cover I,
think
really
this got
like.
a trailer.
Yeah,
I think this got a trailer on YouTube.
I think it did. Yeah, and this cover's great. It looks like an old crime like novel, like you'd find like an old paperback torn up in your library or something.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of those interiors. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like his dad's work. Right? I mean, it looks like a Sean Phillips comic.
Yeah.
So
A little undercooked. Like an undercooked Sean Phillips.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Like
Hell of a way to
he's not there yet. He's a young kid too. He's like in his early 20s, I think.
Yeah.
But that'll be out. That's Newburn. And Chip Zdarsky. I mean, he's one of the hottest writers going today. So what better writer
I
can
don't
you
know
have
who
on?
who that other person is that's getting the writer credit.
Oh, Nadia Shamas or Shamus? Yeah, I don't know who that is. Yeah, that's interesting because it says the new ongoing series from Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips. And then down here it says by Rising Stars. Oh, that's right, because Nadia Shamas is doing the backup strip. The backup
Okay,
story, Brooklyn Zirconia,
Gotcha.
with Zhead Yusuf Ayub. I'm terrible with names. And there's another thing too. If you're a creator and you're somehow watching this video, feel free to correct me on your name. I will fix that the next time I try to pronounce it. And then here's a different cover B for that same Newburn book. Then we have Primordial number 2 of 6. This is the series by Jeff Lemire and Andre Sorrentino, the same team that did Green Arrow. They did Gideon Falls, and they did a lot of the Old Man Logan stuff. So those are a super team. This cover is done by Gabriel Hernandez Walta, which I believe is the guy that did the artwork on Jeff Lemire's TKO story, Sentient. So that's interesting too. But this is a series I'm going to wait for trade, I think. It seems to be of the kind of a similar thing to the like Department of Truth. It kind of plays on conspiracy theories.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I think I'll wait for that. But that team's awesome. I love Sorrentino and Lemire together. They make magic. So then we have Radiant Black, which I know Connor, you said you were reading this. This is issue number 9.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
also reading it, but I'm not caught up with it. I've been waiting since I've been getting this digitally. I wait the month so that the back issues are like $2 or whatever.
I would be careful with the page previews.
Oh, sorry.
Just because the series is there's quite a lot of twists in it. It has a massive twist. About I think it's issue 4 or 5. It's an insanely huge twist that changes the whole book.
Oh wow. I think
it's one of the biggest twists I've seen this year.
I think you have me sold on wanting to read it then. I've been waiting. I think the first trade came out, right?
Yeah.
I have actually. It's on my shelf right now.
Yeah, so I might have to read that on Hoopla here soon because I love stories with big twists like that.
Yeah, it's a ballsy, to put it bluntly. I wasn't sure. They've managed to kind of sell me on it, but
Yeah,
it was
it's not to like undersell it because like it's not like mind blowing or anything like that in the sense of like it does something like crazy with the plot that's like never been seen or anything, but at the same time it is like a super holy shit thing and like almost kind of a bait and switch, but not really.
To be honest, at the point I read the twist that we're talking about, I was unsure as to whether its sales would continue. Like I thought it could lose a lot of sales from it.
Interesting. Well, now I'm hooked.
It's a bold decision.
So over the course of the last 2 videos, Connor's got me wanting to read Radiant Black and Detective Comics by Tinian.
The thing is, though, is it 100% is set in the tokusatsu genre. Like it is 100% Higgins like Power Rangers, like his own version.
And
That's
I
why
love
it's like a super.
Yeah, I love that genre. So I'm
Mhm.
all in on that.
I'm not gonna lie though, I'm a little. Don't get me wrong, I like the genre too. You know, I love Power Rangers and all that, but I'm a little bummed that that's kind of what this story is starting to turn into. Mostly because it's not what I expected.
Mhm.
When the book first got announced and like solicits started showing up, Kyle Higgins like kept pitching this as like, oh, for fans of Invincible and for fans of this.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay, but this book is nothing like any of that. Like, yeah, it's a superhero book, but like that's the extent of it.
Oh, I thought right away
Yeah.
it was his Power Rangers book, just from judging from the way the hero looked and stuff. I was like, oh, good. Higgins is finally doing a Power Rangers book that he owns 100%.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
thought it was the sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the minute a red one got introduced, I was like, okay, I know where we're going. But I understand where you're coming from because he did seriously pitch this as like a superhero book to begin with.
Right. Very much is. But I think that what he ended up doing is he built it like the first couple issues, he built it as a book for like an older reader. You know, this isn't some kid
Yeah.
fresh out of high school. This is a dude like late 20s, early 30s who's struggling. So like it's for those people who grew up with that other stuff. Like it's for them because they can relate to it.
It's maybe controversial, but as much as I love this series, Ryan Parrott's Power Rangers is better.
Yeah, I think if you watched our last video, make sure you go and watch it. But Connor had a big discussion about that, or a big rant, I guess. I hate to say rant because it sounds like you're angry,
I rant
but
a lot.
a great advocate of the Ryan Parrott Power Rangers. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is the Radiant Black got a huge marketing push for Image, like unlike I've seen in years. I feel like that they got a huge marketing push,
Yeah.
which is great. I was happy to see that.
I think
for any
I think they're about to roll out merchandise. I'm not subscribed to Higgins Substack, but I'm like on the newsletter, and he keeps teasing that there's like helmets and stuff coming up.
That doesn't surprise me in the least, and I'm happy for him.
Though. That'd be super cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next we have Silver Coin, which is a series I've been curious about. So this is like, I haven't read it yet, which one of you guys can tell me if you have, but it's like a anthology. And it's all based around a silver coin, and each issue has a different creative team on it.
Okay. I was gonna say I didn't know it was a different creative team. So I was about to say Joshua Williamson's writing this one, which made me think that it was this series. But if they're changing it up, then
yeah. So like every issue is a new creative team, but it all revolves around the same coin. And this one caught my eye because, as an old guy, I clearly remember our old arcades. So the silver coin obviously is playing into some sort of arcade. And if you look at the left, the pinball machine on the cover, I guess I can pull it up a little bit better. It says Nailbiter, which is Joshua Williams' horror series he did. The middle one says Horror Fighter 2, and then the last one's Bitman, which I'm assuming is like a play on Batman / Pac-Man. Or maybe it's probably Batman because Joshua Williamson's about to do that one.
Yeah.
It's a little Easter egg.
I was away to say, I was like, Joshua Williamson's writing another series. How many series could this guy write?
Yeah, just that one issue, I think. And then here's the cover B by James Herron. Oh man, this guy that did Ultra Mega. I love this guy's art. He also did Rumble, the first part of Rumble.
That pretty cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about Rumble because I enjoyed it. I still have a couple trades to read, but I liked it.
Yeah, I want to. That's a series Dan and I have talked off air about because I picked up the first trade paperback. It's all written by John Arcudi, but the art on the first 3 trade paperbacks worth of the story are James Herron, and then the last 3 volumes are done by I'm blanking on the name, Dave Rubin, who did like the artwork on Ether by Matt Kent. All right, so then we have Spawn 323. Any of you guys reading Spawn? Keeping up on Spawn?
No. Well, if you watched our video last week,
that's right.
Read Spawn.
Yeah, but Dan, I'm there with you. I've never read Spawn, so.
So with this cover right here, this says cover C, So similar to whatever book it was that we just saw 10 minutes ago that I already forgot about. Spawn 323 was on the new rack when I went to my shop today. And it was
Okay, so
not-
maybe these variants are coming out later than like you assumed with the earlier one. And we have two moons, which I've heard. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Connor.
No, I was gonna say, am I the only one that's read Spawn then? Like any Spawn?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's one of those series that I want to read, and I've kind of dabbled a little bit in the early Image stuff this year. Like I started reading Savage Dragon, which has been amazing. I can't believe that series isn't collected better because it's so good. I think it's the one thing that stands out and actually holds up over time. But I want to read the early Spawn stuff too to see. I like
don't know
McFarlane's
if I'd
art.
recommend it.
Oh, okay. I mean,
See,
I know
I
it's not going to blow me away, but I feel like it's like one of those things like every comic reader should try it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have. Oh, sorry. No, okay. We have Two Moons, which is written by the aforementioned John Arcudi. I've heard a lot of things about this. It's like a horror story, I think. But
Cool.
this is issue number 6, and it says Part 1 Ghost War. So I don't know what that's about. But it seems like it's maybe a longer ongoing.
Mhm.
Then we have the Walking Dead, which I know Cupcake Hess is picking these up. These are the colored editions of Walking Dead, and these have variant covers. So we have like is that David Finch? Yeah, David Finch is on the cover of this one.
Wow.
That's kind of cool. But these
Has
are
he
the
been doing them all?
He's been doing them all.
I see be doing all the covers.
Oh, I don't.
I feel like
think-
I've seen other ones.
Oh,
that he's
maybe he's
done.
doing
I
a lot
mean,
of them.
maybe. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the deluxes just because, like, I've already read the series. I don't really feel obligated to collect the singles in color. As much as I would like to reread it in color, if they don't collect it like they're saying they won't, then I'm not gonna fucking read it. But if they come out with, like, I think it's a marketing ploy. So like when they come out with more, or when they come out with collected editions, then I'll read it again. But until then, hard pass.
Yeah, they're definitely going to collect it. There's no way they don't. That's silly. All right, then we have from Dark Horse. So that was all the Image books. There's a lot from Image this week. We have Critical Role, Vox Machina, Origins 3, number 4 of 6. It's a very confusing title. Made even more
think this
confusing
is-
by not having a cover.
I think this is based on something, and I don't know if it's a game or like a card or like Dungeons and Dragons type of like board game or something. I think it's based on something. Could be making it up.
Critical Role is a YouTube channel that for years have been doing D&D shows.
Okay, yeah. So I've seen a
basically-
lot of the like the Vox Machina stuff. I've
Yeah.
seen it on Comixology, and I really like how it looks. But because I didn't know what it was based on, I've kind of been avoiding it.
So basically, like, I think like the comics are like just an adaptation of the stories they've told in their D&D adventures. There's an animated show that's been picked up by Amazon. It had a huge Kickstarter and made a crap ton of money. And Amazon just recently picked it up and released the first. I think they released the animated opening of it. The guy that got his animator as well as the guy that did Young Justice season 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Dang, that's awesome. It started off as these guys just playing D&D together, and it's turned into this big big thing. So next we have Hellboy Bones of Giants. So Hellboy is continuing on as it has forever. Writer Mike Mignola, and then artist is Matt Smith. I'm not currently picking that up. We have Last Fight Out. I was trying to see so Mark Guggenheim is the writer, and Eduardo Ferrigato is the artist. This is number 3 of 6.
Yeah, I've only ever read one thing from Guggenheim, which was Halcyon, I think. And I recommend it. I think I might make it a book club pick if I get selected by the Magic Wheel. It's not like amazing or anything, but I think it has a lot of good talking points.
Has my interest peaked now. It looks like Lucky Devil number 4 of 4. This is the last issue of this series by Colin Bunn, who I feel like is also writing a million books at once.
I'll say Lohit read it. He brought it up during the Chicken Devil conversation. I might have cropped that part out, but he's reading it, and he said it was pretty decent, and the premise sounded interesting. I saw issue 3 on the back issue wall today. If the other ones were there, if 1 and 2 were there, I might have grabbed it, but I didn't know it was a miniseries. So knowing that, I'm just gonna wait for the trade.
This is one that I want to highlight because this is one of my favorite series going today. This is James Stoko on Orphan and the Five Beasts. And I'm actually going to try to do something here because I know that one of the early issues had a previews. Oh, yes. So I'm trying to pitch this to Dan to pick up because he's like, I don't know if I want to pick up the trade paperback. I want to get some
I think I do, but
these interior pages, like James Stoko's art is just like amazing. Like the amount of detail he puts into every little panel. And this is like a fun, brutal samurai story. Like, look at all the detail in there.
yeah, no, I think it looks good. I do think that I'll probably end up getting around to it. When did you say it was coming out?
April 27th. So,
Oh, that's so far away. Wow.
I know it is, but it's been delayed because he got some Marvel work. I think there's only 4 issues in the series. I thought there was 5 originally, but it looks like there's only 4.
I thought that as well, but I guess we're both imagining things.
Yeah. So here's issue number 3 coming out next week. Finally, it was supposed to come out in May, so that's how much I got pushed back. And then issue 4, I don't think comes out for. I think it'll tell me if I go to here. Hold on. I think it comes out like in a few months. Like, I don't think it's like next month or anything. Oh, it's not even on here yet. So yeah.
Wow.
But James Stoko's amazing. He's one of my favorite artists going today. Here's Stranger Things winter one shot. It looks like. And that'll close out the Dark Horse books. And then for IDW, they only have 3 comics. There's like Star Trek Mirror War, number 2 of 8. 2 different covers for that. And then we have the infamous Arple O'Neil, which they changed the title. It was originally solicited with saying Arple, A-R-P.
Yeah, I said that they should release that one as a variant.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of these covers either. Like, I know they're going for like the minimalist look, but like,
yeah, I think it's ugly.
it's not.
It's not like David Aja minimalist.
Yeah, right. It's not like, I don't know. No offense to James Biggie here, but it's just not my thing. But these collect like famous April O'Neil stories, and like they released one for like Casey Jones and some other characters.
I see. I was gonna say I don't even know. That's how out of the loop I am. I don't even know what those were supposed to be. I don't know if it was a new thing or.
No, they're just best of comics. You don't need to worry about
Gotcha.
them.
I was wondering why it was $6.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are thicker. I think they're 80 pages, but still, I don't.
Oh, okay.
So from DC now, we have Arkham City Order. And this one caught my eye this morning when I was looking at him. It's written by Dan Waters, which there is I forget the name of the comic book that he wrote. But there's a review of a Dan Waters book on our channel somewhere. Somebody did. I only remember because Neil, when he put the thumbnail together, spelled Waters wrong.
Yeah, that's why I remember too, and I wasn't gonna say.
But I mean, no offense.
Is that the writer?
Neil.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is that the writer that's on Homesick Pilots?
I think you're right. That might be the book that whoever it was that reviewed it. I forget who it was. It might have been.
Yeah, I think it was me. You jogged my memory. I think it was me.
Okay. Well, if you did a review for the channel and it was Dan Waters, then it was probably you. Yeah. It was your video that was misspelled. Either way, this cover looks pretty striking. It caught my eye this morning when I was looking through these. And then here's the B cover. Then we have Batman 116 with a bunch of different covers here. I like the way this guy looks. I don't know. I'm not caught up on continuity.
Yeah, he's an all right character.
Oh, okay. He looks kind of like Super Patriot from Savage Dragon.
I looked it up just to be clear. You're right. It is. He does do Homesick Pilots.
Oh,
Awesome.
Perfect.
It's Fear State right now, so Batman's in a sort of mini event. Tony has created a lot of new characters, and that guy is one of them. I'm not completely caught up though, and I can't remember his name. I'd be lying if I said it, but he's a pretty cool character.
Peacemaker 01.
Yeah, he's a recent creation. Like, he's made a lot of new characters, and he's probably his newest one.
Well, then, DC can't be mad at him. He's creating all these new characters for him that he won't ever own. What are they upset about?
Yeah.
And then we have Batman Adventures continuing season 2, number 6 of 7. Those are like take place in the continuity of the animated series and the continuations of those. Paul Dini's the writer, which is great because Paul Dini was the writer and showrunner of those cartoons. We have some covers of those, and we have Batman Superman Authority Special number 1, one shot. Does this take place after the Morrison series that just happened then?
Yeah, so basically I think this will be like a special or a setup issue, because from what I believe, the Grant Morrison run, Superman and the Authority, that's about to continue in Action Comics. So I don't know if this is just a special that kind of sets up an aspect of it or whatnot. That miniseries was great though, the Superman and the Authority.
So is Grant Morrison writing Action
Basically,
Comics?
what you're saying is that they just wanted to put Batman in another book.
Quite possibly. Grant Morrison is not. He's finished at DC. Superman and the Authority was his last DC work.
Well, that's what he said before Superman Authority, or what they said, said before Superman Authority came out, was that I'm done with DC, and then they announced this story.
Well, the thing is I think they said that Green Lantern would be his last DC story, but technically he wrote Superman the Authority after it or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So like Superman the Authority is officially like his last work he wrote for DC.
I love their Green Lantern run. That run was amazing. I hope it gets released in an absolute. But so we got another cover of that, and then we have Crush and Lobo number 6 of 8, which is a comic book that I'm interested in reading, but I'm gonna wait till it's collected because it just looks like a kind of balls to the wall fun, which is up my alley. And Mariko Tamaki's the writer, so that has me interested too. Then we have Dark Knights of Steel. So I saw this today. This is Tom Taylor writing a Elseworlds tale of big name superheroes for DC in a previous timeline. Is this not like Dark Ages kind of what he's doing at Marvel? Or I guess Dark Ages is like, is that post-apocalyptic?
Dark Ages is post-apocalyptic.
Oh, okay, so maybe it's not the same thing. But I just thought it was interesting that he's doing like these two kind of different maxi series for big, Marvel and DC. Like props to Tom
be honest,
Taylor.
Yeah, to be honest, it feels like they're kind of battling out for him right now.
Which, I mean, I hope he keeps playing that as much as he can until that contract gets higher and higher and he can make the most money he can, because 1, he's a good dude, and 2, I'm always advocating for creators and comics to make as much as they can. And the fact that he's not exclusive means they are going to be battling it out there, auctioning off his services, probably. So
I'm glad that we're going through this, though, because I didn't know it was coming out next week, and I think I might get it.
Yeah, I like Tom Taylor. He also wrote this comic book that turned into an animated series called The Deep on Netflix that my son is a huge fan of. He's probably the biggest fan because it's such a small series. But and I even my son was like, "Can you ask Tom Taylor if there's gonna be more episodes?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll tweet at him." And Tom actually replied. So I was excited to pick him up from school that day. I was like, "Hey, look, Tom Taylor replied to me." And he's like, and Tom's like, "Tell him to look forward to in the future," or something like that. So it's kind of cool. But and then there's another cover for that. This one is a series I'm interested in. This is Soul Plumber. This is a DC Horror Presents, and it's about a plumber. It seems like such a non-DC book.
Yeah, very much so. The name of it alone, I was like, oh, okay, that's an indie title. Then I forgot we're in the DC section. Exactly.
So it's about soul plumbers, and they're like fighting monsters. I don't know. This is not a DC book at all, but somehow it made it onto DC. And I'm not familiar with these names either on the creative team.
Yeah, I was going to make that comment as well. I don't recognize.
The interesting thing is it's not listed as a Black Label. It's listed as DC Horror Presents.
Is it the Joe Hill?
But no, like, that's Hill House. So it's not listed as
yeah.
So DC has like another imprint to add, I guess. I don't know. Very strange.
Can I just point out at this point, I find it really odd that Jeff Johns, he was going to write Geiger at DC, and he was going to have this brand, and then they've not went that way, and then they've ended up with all these different brands anyway.
Yeah, it's weird what happened there with Jeff Johns. I think there's more to the story that we don't know.
Yeah,
There's got to be. And I'm not saying that Jeff did anything wrong. I think maybe it was like a contract, they couldn't agree on numbers or something, just something that hasn't come to light, because like you said, that's very weird that they didn't keep him on for after all he did for DC as far as writing goes. Then we have Green Lantern number 8. The cover A has nothing to show, but I'll show off cover B, I guess.
That's so weird.
Jeffrey Thorne and Tom Rainey is on this book. So I haven't read any Green Lantern post Morrison, but interesting. This is a series I'm interested in. So I love Tom King in a maxi series format. I loved his Mr. Miracle. I can't wait to read his Strange Adventures and his Rorschach. Both hardcovers come out in December. But this is a new series with Greg Smallwood, and it's called The Human Target.
It's got the Justice League International, so I'm all over it.
Oh yeah, and it's Justice League International themed, or it takes place, I guess.
No, I believe they're in it. I believe. Well, I remember I saw panels that had them in it.
That's right. We talked about that in the chat, because Justice League International is a series that I need to read. It's so up my alley. I know I'll love it.
It's so good.
I haven't read it yet. But there's some other covers for this. Then we have Joker Presents a Puzzle Box.
I think
Chip
that's Black Label.
It is, and Chip Zdarsky is the cover artist on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun. And it's like a little maze, but it's Joker's face. That's a Matt Rosenberg story. And there's also a cover by someone named last name Brown, Ryan Brown. Then we have Justice League Incarnate number 1 of 5. This looks like a new series.
I cannot wait for this series.
Oh, this is Joshua Williamson, the aforementioned.
So basically, so the brand of DC's kind of whole thing right now is Infinite Frontier, and Joshua Williamson wrote a mini series called Infinite Frontier that kind of, as I said, set up the DC universe and what the next kind of event is going to look like. And this is the next part of that. You know how I was saying they're doing mini series, and then there's different mini series and it's different parts. So you would read Infinite Frontier, that's a 6-issue mini series, it finishes, and then you would read this is the next part of that.
Awesome. So yeah,
is there a way, like, without you telling me that, is there a way that the reader would know that?
I think they advertise it at the end of Infinite Frontier.
Because honestly, I think that cover looks really awesome.
The first line of this,
sure.
the first line of the solicit says, "After the shocking ending of Infinite Frontier."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at the end of Infinite Frontier, it did say, like, coming soon, Justice League Incarnate.
Nice.
I'm sure there'll be like a recap page or something to start off this issue.
Yeah,
Right.
but highly recommend reading Infinite Frontier. That was a fantastic miniseries.
One thing I want to do, because I grew up as a Marvel kid, and I've read some DC here and there throughout the years. I'm trying to read more and more. I think one thing I want to do is try to read through all the major events, like in order, and just to like get caught up on DC lore. So
I did that. I've done that in the last year, and it's fantastic. Their events are phenomenal. The only event
I started with
we've
Crisis
discussed this before.
Oh, sorry.
But it's like, sorry, we've said this before, but Final Crisis is the only one. But that's because, one, it's Grant Morrison, but two, it's really meta. And I read a post recently that made me look at the whole book so differently. But it's an event that doesn't really fit with the other ones, but the rest of them all kind of fit well together.
Yeah, and I remember you sent us a link to that post, which I'll probably ask for you again whenever I get to that event, because I like the idea of that. So yeah, I'll get to that. You know, isn't it the famous thing that all comic book readers say? I'll get to that eventually.
I say it almost daily.
Daily. Justice League Infinity we have here, and then we have Nice House on the Lake. This is a James Tynion book.
This has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I haven't read any of this, but I'm again waiting for it to be collected, because I mean, Department of Truth, we read that book within this group, and that book was so good. And I just realized the second trade paperback came out, so I need to pick that up. But that I'm on board for anything Tinian does, just because I can see the way his brain works in his writing. And I think he's one of those smart writers that write to make you feel smarter as you read, which I appreciate. So I'm on board for anything Tinian.
I actually think that this series really suited single issues. Like, I think that it'll read well in trade paperback because you'll be able to go back and kind of probably reading it in closer proximity, you'll see more stuff. But I really like the puzzle box that is the single issue format for it. It's kind of given me like a month to think about or look at some of the things that kind of go on in it. Like these symbols underneath the title kind of mean something as well.
Sorry, I can go back to it.
It is like a big puzzle. So you kind of reading it, you're able to kind of put some stuff together. But the central hook of the series is fantastic. That first issue is mind-blowing.
That's how I felt about Department of Truth. I felt the ending of the first issue like had me hooked for sure. So then we have Nubia in the Amazons #2. Am I saying that right?
So Nubia is like so Wonder Woman has almost a whole host of titles spinning off her right now, and Wonder Woman's in a really cool but odd place after Death Metal, and Nubia is basically leading the Amazons on Amazon right now, and this is all leading to, I believe her title is leading to, it's like a War of the Amazons or something event that's happening next year, and all the Wonder titles will kind of tie into that.
Well, that sounds awesome. Vita Ayala, I didn't realize she was doing work for DC too. She was one of the big members of the X-Men team at Marvel with Hickman. That's cool to see her working for both. Then we have Suicide Squad #9. Who's on the team on this one? This is a new run. Robbie Thompson. Yeah, I'm not. Anybody reading Suicide Squad right now?
I'm not, but the cover looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm not up to date, but I think I'm about issue 6. Dexter Soy's art is really cool, and also this is the kind of thing where it's fun because if you've read the Crime Syndicate miniseries, that plays a part in this like a little bit, and it's really awesome. But Suicide Squad's weird because it's tying off into so many different things, because like it had a wee crossover with Teen Titans Academy, but you don't necessarily need it, but it just enhances it. And then it had a crossover with Swamp Thing. Like, for instance, Peacemaker disappeared for a wee bit and he appeared in Swamp Thing, but you don't need to read Swamp Thing. It just enhances it. Like, I haven't read Swamp Thing, and I understood what was going on in Suicide Squad. But Dexter Soy jumped on recently, and Dexter Soy is a fantastic artist.
Yeah, I don't think I've read anything with his art.
Yeah, that name doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, it did. The first time I ever read, I think the first time I've ever seen their art was Captain Marvel, Kelly Sue DeConnick's run. The first arc of that is Dexter Soy.
Then we have Swamp Thing #9 of 10. So Ram V is wrapping up his run, which I've not read, but I heard a lot of people say that it ties well into the Alan Moore run, which I know you guys know this, but for cupcakes that are new to Taylor Mitchell, I'm a huge fan of Alan Moore, so that has piqued my interest. All right, so that's DC. Let's move on to Marvel. So Marvel's got Amazing Fantasy 4 of 5. I'm sorry. This is a Carrie Anderson story. I've not read it, but I want to collect it, and I've heard great things about it. I love this is an homage to like the Elektra cover from Bill Sienkiewicz. And have you guys read this?
No, I don't know anything about it.
I haven't read it, but I love Carrie Andrews.
Yeah, Carrie Andrews. I probably said that wrong. To my understanding, it's like these old heroes. What are these preview pages? Just the credits? They could have. Okay, sorry, but from my understanding, it's like these heroes like put in like a fantasy era, maybe. I don't know. It's like going through. It looks like they're going through like the Marvel continuity in their history, but as if it was like in the fantasy kind of world. I don't know. But
let's go Carrie Andrews art. So again, I want to check that out.
I'm hoping they release it. Yeah, release it in a treasury format, maybe. So this is a Darkhawk series that Danny said you weren't aware of. This is Kyle
Yeah.
Higgins. And this is only issue number 3 of 5. It looks like it's a 5-issue miniseries.
Right. They've been not to the same extent that DC's doing it, but they've been doing a good bit of like 5-issue miniseries as well. They had one for U.S. Agent and Juggernaut, and I want to say Maestro also got one within the last year. Like, there's a few that I know for a fact I'm forgetting.
Well,
But they've
right
been
here,
kind
The Death of Doctor Strange is number 1 of 5.
I think that's more of an event though. Like that's like a
Yeah.
Doctor Strange event
Yeah.
sort of situation.
I feel like that's probably more the case with that specific one, but still, I mean, yeah.
Oh, Jed McKay. I mentioned on the last episode I wasn't super familiar with his work, so I need to read this apparently. Then we have the second printing of Moon Knight number 3. We talked about that in the last episode, how this is going to back to print quite a bit. It's a very popular series. Then we have Star Wars number 18. Star Wars number 18. Okay. So it's got a bunch of variants here. This is the Charles Soule run. That's right. I've not read this, but I know it takes place after the Jason Aaron
Is
run.
he like exclusively working on Star Wars stuff now? I feel like I don't see his name on any other books anymore.
Maybe. I'm trying to think of.
He's definitely steering the High Republic stuff. I know that much. He's a big hand in that.
Interesting.
Which, by the way, I could make a video on because I think High Republic gets a lot of hate because people think it's woke. But I've read all the books from High Republic so far, and they're awesome. And Charles Soule writes the first one that kicks it all off, and that's really good. It's like the best book so far.
Well, so far I'd say, Connor, you do a great job of selling me and pitching me comic books. So you should make videos of stuff that you feel like needs more attention. Here's Bounty Hunters, Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 17 by Ethan Sachs and Paolo Villanelli. I've heard a lot of people say they're reading this, but I don't know if I've heard anything good or bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
We have Strange Academy. This is the Death of Doctor Strange issue for Strange Academy, it looks like. But Strange Academy is the Scotty Young series that I've heard nothing but great things about, and I need to read it. Because they've been releasing those in the digest format, so I need to read them and see if they'd be appropriate for my son or not, because he might dig them. Oh, here's a Peach Momoko cover, who Cupcake Tanner is a huge fan of. Wink, wink. No, but he's like the only person that doesn't love Peach Momoko. Look at these great covers.
Yeah. I have a Power Rangers variant of her art, and it's amazing.
Oh, she's done everything too. She's done Red Room variants, which is
Does she?
Yeah, she did one for issue number 1, and she's solicited to have done one for the next issue number 1, which comes out in December, but the art hasn't come out for it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Then we have Winter Guard, number 3 of 4. This is Ryan Cady. I don't know anything about this. We have X-Men Legends. I didn't know this series was still going on. So these X-Men Legends are like a different writer, and Larry Hama is the writer, which is cool, and Billy Tan's the artist. But these like take place in like the artist and writer basically pick one sample or one era of specific continuity from X-Men, and they kind of expand upon that. That's kind of fun. And then Trial of Magneto number 2 of 5. Second printing comes out. And then Dynamite. Do either of you read Dynamite comics?
I think I've read one Dynamite book ever.
I'm just gonna kind of scroll through these because they have a million variants. Betty Page, Barbarella, Jennifer's Blood, sorry. Or no, it is Jennifer Blood. Purgatory, Red Sonja. If you're a fan of any of these books, write it in the comments and let us know which ones we should be picking up. But it drives me nuts how many variants they have.
Yeah, most of it looks like it's all the same stuff, and I feel like that's what kind of turns me off most of the time whenever I see Dynamite.
I mean, just scrolling through here, it's like all cheesecake, skimpy clad women kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is not, I mean, I don't have an issue with that, but it's like, it's not my thing. That doesn't draw me to a comic book, but it is all of the same kind of genre. You're right.
Yeah.
And this is the comic and graphic novel section. This is where you're going to see some of the any of the publishers we haven't seen yet. So the smaller publishers. And then there's some weird things too, like this James Tynion signed book, Batman book. But we have an Aftershock book. This is a one shot. So this might be something to look forward to. But the cover artist is Tony Harris. Writer is Colin Bunn. But I think I saw another one of these. Oh, Tales from the Crypt meets Twilight Zone. Oh my gosh, I love Twilight Zone. But I think I saw one of the Aftershock one shots, and they're usually like bigger size too. Like
like trim size or
like trim size, yeah, like they're like treasury sized.
okay.
I don't know if this one will be like that, but it kind of looks like it because like look at the issue next to it, it's like normal size and it's kind of square.
Yeah.
So I think it might be one of those.
I mean, for $7, I would hope it's a little bit bigger than usual in some capacity.
Right, and it's also a one shot, so it's probably more than just your typical 22 issue or 22 page.
It'd be nice if they like, unless I missed it, it'd be nice if it had a page count.
It would be nice. I wish they had that. Then we have a Gretsuko, which I think is like a video game or something. I don't know.
I think there's a Netflix show,
Oh, okay.
but I couldn't tell you what it is.
We have some more signed books by Tynion. Then we have Bigfoot Frankenstein, which that name alone caught my eye this morning. It's a monster versus monster action, and it's issue number 2 from Action Lab Entertainment. I don't know anything about that, but the title alone caught my eye.
I think, unless I'm mistaken, I feel like Action Lab has kind of been doing some shisty stuff lately, according to what the Twitter world.
Oh, really?
People believe. Yeah, I forget who. I think it was the creator of Midnight Tiger, I think it's called. That was an Action Lab book, and apparently he had like a really hard time getting his rights to like the thing he created. And apparently they were like really mistreating him. I don't know the details. I didn't look into it. They really weren't even there for me to look into, but apparently they've kind of been up to some shit. So like, I'm curious about what's going on there, because Action Lab has always like had my eye, but I've never actually gotten anything from them.
That's interesting. Then we have Blade Runner 2029, which I've heard good things about this series. This is a Paul Pope cover, which is Paul Pope's awesome.
Where's
I've
that?
always wanted to read it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's Titan Comics.
I've always wanted to read that.
Yeah, I forget. It might have been somebody in our chat that was praising it. Maybe a Low Hit. I feel like that's a book you would like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then we have Blue Baron #1 from Binge Books. What is this? Oh, this looks like Ron Friends is the artist on the. Oh, Ron Friends is the artist, and Sal Buscema's the cover artist. That's interesting. I don't know anything. It looks kind of weird. Blue Flame. This is a comic from Vault Comics that Cupcake Neil loves.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Cantwell. He's always going on about this book, and I always jokingly call it RC Cola Rangers, because I feel like one of the first images that came out made me think it was like Star or like Power Rangers, but he said it's more like Justice League, and it has nothing, not even close to Power Rangers. But so it's a Neil Mack special. Then we have Breathers. This is from It's Alive, the publisher. I actually bought a bunch of comics from them recently that I'm waiting to get into the mail. This was not one of them. This series wasn't, but it was like issues 1 through 4 of another series they have, which I'll report back to you guys about. But this one caught my eye. It looks pretty interesting. Like there's some dystopian world with some sort of virus going around. Maybe a little too close to home right now.
Yeah, I saw a Kickstarter actually, because I've been on a Kickstarter kick, no pun intended. I just kind of like finally made an account, started scrolling through, and there was this one book that all these like there was this virus, whatever, and you needed a vaccine like daily. And like as I was reading it, it wasn't like COVID related in any capacity, but I was like, this feels ill-timed.
Yeah. Then we have By the Horns by Scout Comics. We have Campisi by Aftershock.
I read the first issue of that.
Oh, you did?
You brought it up in the Chicken Devil thing because I asked if you had read an Aftershock book. What did you think of it again? Because I looked it up. Curious.
I thought it was pretty awesome. I didn't realize the second issue was out, but the first issue I enjoyed it. It's basically just like New York, but like a dragon's flying about, and then they've got this like almost like Yakuza style story going on as well. It was just a lot of different kind of genres, but it worked. It was a lot of fun.
And then we have from Scout Comics, we have Cherry Blackbird, number 4 or 5. Chilling Adventures in Sorcery one shot from Archie. And there's a couple covers for that. We have Cookie and Kid Volume 2, number 2. And then a signed James Tynion book, Department of Truth. Black Mask has Destiny New York, number 7. This looked interesting to me because a cool looking cover. We got some more James Tynion signed books, some more CGC books. Anything? Oh, Action Lab has Digger number 1 coming out. Don't recognize any of the creators on it, but it has this kind of cool looking cover. All these zombie hands coming out of the ground. And then we have Epic Tavern Tales from Fantastical Crimes Unit. This looks like a genre mashup here. Maybe a little Dungeons and Dragons meets CSI.
You missed Dirtbag Rapture.
Oh, sorry. Dirtbag Rapture number 4.
I don't know what the hell it is. But...
No offense to Christopher Sabella or Kendall Good there. Total accident. Kind of creepy looking cover though. I like that. Oh, it's by Oni Press. I like Oni Press. They came out with the Kaiju Max and 6 Gun. Exciting Comics number 15. Glamorella's Daughter. Gillum March with a bunch of covers here. We have Gun Honey. This is number 1, 3rd printing. It's a comic that Cupcake Ben is always going on about. We have the Heathens number 1 from Aftershock. John Carpenter's Tales Sci-Fi Hell number 7 from Storm King Productions. I never heard of that publisher.
Yeah,
Gargoyles in Hell, they're real. Oh, Tim Bradstreet's the cover artist. He's the cover artist on all the Garth and his Punisher books.
Oh, okay.
And then we have some
what is that Knighted book?
I don't know. It looks like artists, writers, and artisans.
Oh yeah, there was an AWA
Artisans.
up. Yeah.
Oh, Mark Teixeira is the cover artist. This is obviously an homage to Dark Knight Returns, the cover there.
That's what I almost thought that it was at a quick glance, and then I obviously looked at it more and realized that it was very much not that. But
Yeah.
that could be interesting. I have an AWA book. I forget what the hell it's called though.
Oh, Mark Russell's got a new book called My Bad from Ahoy Comics. A sharp superhero spoof from a stellar team that includes co-creators of Irredeemable and Second Coming. Wow, I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that one. I like Mark Russell a lot, and I love superhero commentary comic books. So I might be on the lookout for that one next week. My Bad, number 1. I think there's a variant cover here too, which has some Drixon Fried Chicken.
It's a hell of a name for a book, though.
Right. I wonder if Drixon Fried Chicken's a rival of Chicken Devils.
I was thinking the same thing.
We have Ninjas and Robots number 11. Out of Body number 5. Rick and Morty. Rick's New Hat number 4. Rush number 1. Which I don't think is Rush the band. Snatch number 3. Wow, there's a lot here. I think we're getting towards the end here. Turbo Kid. Isn't that like an old 80s movie?
Oh no, Turbo Kid is it's a Canadian movie. It's French or Canadian, and basically it was I think it was a Kickstarter style backed movie. It's amazing. It's really unheard of. It's like Mega Man meets Mad Max.
I was gonna say it says Apple's Own Fury Road right here, which is a Mad Max reference. And it's by Behemoth, which is what I talked about the other day on the episode with Popstar Assassin. So
It's honestly, it's really cool. It's basically about this kid who loves this character called Turbo Rider, whose abilities are like Mega Man, and then he finds his costume, and then it's like Mad Max, and he like charges up his arm and stuff and shoots it. It's amazing.
Where is that available streaming anywhere? Do you know?
I don't know if it's streaming. You're able to buy it physical. I own it physically.
I have to check that out. We Promised Utopia #2, and then we have some Archie books, World of Darkness, Crimson. Yeah, so that's all for single issues, and then collected editions will be a little bit faster since
But did I miss something, or were there no Boom titles?
There's no Boom titles.
Interesting.
Usually
Or
Boom
I
has-
think that, actually.
Boom has its own section usually, like where it's just like Dark Horse and stuff.
I would have thought the same thing. Yeah, I guess there's nothing. There's no IDW either. Because I was going to ask if it goes in alphabetical order, but it definitely doesn't.
No, there was IDW because I had the April O'Neil special.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Oh, Boom. See, Boom has some collected editions, so we'll see them here. All right, so these are collected editions coming out. The three of us also read comics and collected editions, so we go through here. Looks like trade paperback #4 comes out. Friday, trade paperback book 1, first day of Christmas. So I think this is like a graphic novel. It's Ed Brubaker, but not with Sean Phillips. This is with Months of Vicente, which is interesting. Oh, it's a young adult detective hero. Okay, that's interesting. But it says, oh, it collects Friday number 1 through 3, so it must have been released in singles prior to this. Okay, I thought that was interesting. Outcast by Kirkman. Oh, the compendium. Oh, Paperback Dan.
Yeah, I might get that.
Do you have Outcast in trade paperback already?
I have 0 Outcast. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to read it, but because it's Kirkman and there's a compendium, I might give in.
Yeah, this is
I have about 7 volumes of it. I have 7 volumes of the trade.
Have you liked it?
Yeah, it's not always wouldn't say it's always the most interesting, but it's definitely a good horror book. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, this collects issues number 1 through 48. So, then Dark Horse, we have Beast of Burden, Occupied Territory hardcover coming out. Blade of the Immortal Deluxe Edition, Volume 4. The EC Archives, Haunt of Fear trade paperback. So I'm obviously a huge advocate for the EC comics. I love them. I talk about them in the group quite a bit. These trade paperbacks are like oversized also. So if you're looking to collect EC comics or try them out on the cheap, you can get these. They're only cover price $19.99, but they're like oversized and pretty nice. So I have a video on my channel, Taylor Talks Comics, where I talk about the best way to collect EC comics.
Oh, here he goes, plugging himself again.
I know. Evil Dead 40th Anniversary Edition hardcover. I think this is like an art book that has like, it's like a coffee table book, I think. Or no, it's a comic book. Oh, it is a comic book. Okay, it's a graphic novel collection that expands on the film. Okay, I might be interested in this though, because Mark Verheiden wrote some of the early Predator and Alien comic books I like a lot. And John Bolton, wow, he's the artist that did art on the X-Men Classic issues that are collected in the X-Men Classic Omnibus that expanded upon the Claremont years. So that's interesting. I haven't seen his name come up a lot. That might be something I have to look into. Then we have The House trade paperback. We have, this is a re-release, I think, but this is the True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys California Deluxe hardcover. This comes with like a slipcase, some art prints and stuff. That's it for Dark Horse. IDW's got 1 book out next week. It's Ballad for Sophie graphic novel. This looks like an all ages tale or comic book or something. Maybe, I don't know. It looks interesting though. Scrolling on down, we got DC Comics. They have American Vampire 1976 hardcover, and this is the new series that came out recently. Looks like it's being collected. We have Batman Noel trade paperback. Daphne Burns being released in softcover. Joker hardcover number 1 and Man Bat trade paperback. Marvel's got 3 books out. Marvel's in that weird period this month where they're still transitioning to Penguin Random House. The big book here for me is this Fantastic Four Epic Collection. This is volume 22, I believe, of the Epics. I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. I'm trying to collect. I want every issue of Fantastic Four Volume 1 on my shelf in collected editions. So this will help with that. But also,
Go
ahead.
that Black Knight book has my attention. I forget who's writing it though.
Spurrier.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just can't remember if it's supposed to be a 5-issue book or if they're continuing.
I feel like it was a mini series, but I don't know.
That's the impression I was under as well. I feel like I looked it up recently. I might get that actually.
We have the latest trade paperback for Dan Slott's Fantastic Four run, Volume 8. Boom Studios. We've got Lumberjanes trade paperback Volume 20. We have Mighty Morphin, Power Rangers Necessary Evil Deluxe Edition hardcover Part 1 coming out. So are you collecting these, Connor? And you said that you don't like the way these are mapped, but are you collecting the hardcovers?
No. I've got I have every single issue released since the first issue, and then my partner is collecting all the trade paperbacks.
Okay, so
I thought about going on to these. See this, like the Necessary Evil Part 1, and they're going to release Part 2. I imagine they're mapped all right, but if anything, this just makes the previous so they're mapped fine, but these would make the previous ones more frustrating.
Yeah, because Go-Go Power Rangers issues like 1 through 11 or something, I don't know the exact number, have not been collected in hardcover still.
Yeah, and the problem is like, I mean, it's hard to describe because it would take me a little bit, but yeah, like these are important, but they're the same style as what the first part of Go-Go Power Rangers is. So I don't understand why they've not collected them.
Yeah, it's weird. Then we have Proctor Valley Road trade paperback by Grant Morrison and Naomi Franquise, I don't know. Looking at, okay, so this is the comics graphic novel section. These are the small publishers / manga. Let's run through these. Okay. Gretsuko Bad Boys Home, Bestia. Again, stop me if I mention anything you want to look at or mention. Bitemakers Kings, Black Clover, Complete DC Comics Phantom hardcover. Cutting Edge trade paperback from Titan Comics. Dead Beats Omnibus trade paperback. Dr. Stone 19, God Killer trade paperback volume 2. Grass,
the Black Mask book, the God Killer.
I will warn you, Black Mask books go out of print and they're kind of hard to find, and they go for kind of crazy prices for some reason. I don't know if it's just because they're a small publisher and have like small print runs.
Yeah,
but I don't know if the volume 1 would be easy to find. But if you're interested in this, I wouldn't wait too long on it. I don't want to create any FOMO, but
right. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Could be terrible.
And there's this Grass of Parasnes slipcase. This looks interesting. Oh, it's Catherine and Super Imminent.
It looks cool.
I just love how it looks like it's like shaped differently. Like it's what do you call that? Oh, sorry. Landscape format. You can see it's like shaped differently.
Oh yeah, or like a maybe it's like a wraparound cover type of thing.
Oh, that could be it too. Here's Hakim's Odyssey from Syria to Turkey. Hilda Wilderness Stories. H.P. Lovecraft, The Lurking Fear trade paperback. I Survive graphic novel collection 1 through 4. It looks like a box set. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. Life is Strange from Titan Comics number 5. Lore from Fantagraphics, the best publisher in comics. I haven't even heard about this book. It's a science fiction graphic novel. Okay, cool. I'll have to look into that. Made in Abyss, Man, Goat, and Bunny Man. I think Ben Cupcake Ben is picking that up. Mashal, Magic and Muscles, Murder Book graphic memoir, True Crime Obsession. My Hero Academia, No Ghosts in Hiroshima, People Inside hardcover, Rockstars Complete trade paperback, Saint Seiya, Second Coming Only Begotten Son, Snow White with Red Hair, Steins Gate, Super Turbo versus Wonder, Sword of Eden, Cerebus in Hell, Swords of Cerebus in Hell, Tale of Outcast, Trailer Park Boys, Big ASS Comic Collection trade paperback, or A $. You guys watch Trailer Park Boys?
I
No,
haven't. Hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's ridiculous. Uncle from Another World, Undead Unlock, and then Upgrade Soul Collector's Edition hardcover by Oni Press. This is supposed to be a really good book I've not read, but it's by Ezra Clayton Daniels. I forget what the conceit of the book is, but I've heard a lot of good things. And then by Fantagraphics, we also have Visual Crime Moriarty. I have seen this book coming out. Oh, it's by Jerry Moriarty, but I don't know anything about it. And we have Waiting and Witch graphic novel part 9, 100 Witch graphic novel volume 1. The longest name ever. Okay, so that's what's coming out next week. Was there anything that stood out as like your pick of the week for your next week? Single issues or collected editions from either of you?
I'd say Justice League Incarnate.
Honestly, yeah, that one really caught my attention. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to try to read Infinite Frontier first, potentially. But yeah, no, that one really caught my eye. And there was another DC book. There was another DC book besides the Tom Taylor one.
The Dark Knights of Metal.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Well, yeah, so I'm interested in that one too. But there was another cover that caught my eye. Oh, maybe it was Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
Dexter Soy.
I'm not gonna jump right into the middle of that run. Obviously, I think it was number 9. But
I think that runs went from strength to strength. When I started reading it, I didn't think it was all that, but with each issue, it seems to grow stronger and stronger. It's got a really interesting Superboy story in it right now.
I believe it was this cover that caught your eye, Dan.
I think that cover looks fucking awesome. And I mean, the B cover also looks really cool too. But I really like that like ominous green glowing hand.
Oh, off the page right here.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, who is it? Because like for me, I'm not reading it, so I would have no idea, which would make me curious.
Right.
But maybe it's super obvious. Maybe it's dude on the cover right here. Like, I don't know. Yeah, no, it looks very interesting. And I looked it up because I had never heard of Dexter Soy. He also did the art on Brian Hill's Batman and the Outsiders, which is another book that I had a lot of interest in because I like Brian Hill. I've interacted with him on Twitter actually quite a few times. He seems like a good dude, and I really wanted to read that Batman book. So that might be my first experience with Mr. Soy's art.
Yeah, my pick of the week is the Fantastic Four Epic Collection. This Flameless Fury. It's one I'm looking forward to, and it's got the Tom DeFalco run with a lot of Paul Ryan art on it. So I collect some of the later years.
22.
Yeah, like the Epic Collections, you don't collect those, but they're released out of order on purpose. But so this will fill a gap. I think
for what reason? That's weird.
It's actually great because this, for example, let's take like Spider-Man. It's gonna have like 25 volumes total when it's all said and done, and I'll collect every issue of Spider-Man from the first volume. But the reason why they released it out of order is because rather than starting at 1 and expecting people to hang on the ride through 25, they release them as I guess I can stop sharing my screen now. They release them as like based on the big titles. So they'll have like the first Spider-Man volume 1 will be like the Ditko stuff, and then they'll come out with like Spider-Man like Maximum Carnage. So the idea is that you don't have to collect them out in order. You can just go and pick up one of them. They even don't have volume numbers on the spine. They have them on the back. So if you only pick up one random volume, it doesn't look weird on your shelf. But so the idea is they're going to release all the big events basically of Spider-Man, so that you pick them all up that way, and then you end up filling up the gaps later. But rather than like for instance, DC has like the Golden Age Volume 1 of Superman, and they expect people to buy every single volume all the way through till they get to the stuff they actually want. I don't know if I'm expressing that as eloquently as I could, but basically there's it's like the spot volumes of the big events, and then the ones that fill the gaps are like the smaller stuff that people maybe not buy would not buy based off the name alone. But eventually they've mapped it out perfectly to where you'll have everything there if you want to collect everything, or if you only want to collect the certain runs that you want, you can collect them out of order.
If I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that they release it out of order on purpose in hopes that people will want to fill the gaps that they've created, essentially.
Yeah, that, or just if you don't, for the readers that don't want to collect the entire thing, they can just buy the random volume here or there.
Okay.
Because like Spider-Man Volume 14 won't sell as well as Spider-Man Maximum Carnage, if that makes sense. So it's like kind of placating to both kind of collectors.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of makes sense.
All right, so that was the previews for next week, for the week of November 3rd. We hope that you will stick around for next week on the Wednesday Warrior episode, where we will discuss what books we did pick up for that given week, and we'll talk about what we read and that kind of thing. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Comment down below with what you're looking forward to next week. That'd be great too. And share this video with your friends. Let us know what we're doing over here so we can increase our subscriber number and hopefully get to the point where we can do some live shows and interact with you guys live. But I'm Taylor Mitchell of Taylor Talks Comics. And we have Paperback Dan over here. Dan, if you want to say goodbye to our viewers.
That's me. I'm Paperback Dan, signing out.
And then we've got, hailing from Scotland, we have Connor Craig. Craig.
What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you come back next week.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.